Alright, good morning everyone. Mapagpalang umaga sa ating lahat. Kumusta po kayo? Nakapag-almusal na po ba kayo? Well, kami, sa team namin, maaga kami nag-almusal para makapag-prepare sa umagang ito. And medyo na-late po tayo ng kaunti kasi nagkaroon tayo ng technical glitch sa ating Zoom live streaming. So medyo meron silang system-wide glitch sa pagla-live stream sa FB, even sa YouTube Live. So that's why we transition to another application which is StreamYard para makapag-live pa rin tayo for this morning. So hopefully kayo ay nakapag-breakfast na para talaga namang ready na tayo para sa session natin ngayong umaga. So blessed morning din sa lahat ng mga nakatutok sa ating FB Live. Kindly let us know kung saan kayo nanonood. So kung saan mang parte o sulok ng Pilipinas kayo nanonood, please let us know. So good morning everyone. We are very glad to have you with us sa GKNB webinar series. Talagang Gina tayo. So ayan, pinabati namin lahat ng mga nanonood ng mga students, and as of this morning, meron tayong 1,391 registered participants para sa GKNB mag-online learning, a webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal for incoming and continuing UPLB students. So we hope na madami kayong matutunan para sa ating first session na ito. So yung mga wala pa, halimbawa may mga kaibigan kayo, kaklase, or mga kasamahan, kung wala pa dito sa ating FB Live, yung inyong mga kasamahan at mga kaklase, please itag nyo po sila or gisingin nyo na po sila kung hindi pa sila gising para makasama din natin sila sa ating FB Live. Anyway, kung hindi naman po makakapanood ang iba sa inyo dahil sa meron kayong ginagawa, don't worry because we will be uploading itong ating webinar series na ito ng session 1 sa ating YouTube Live. So, ayan. So, dahil ilang sandali na lamang po, magsisimula na po talaga tayo. Alright, time check po tayo. It's already 10:18 in the morning. Ayan. So, I hope nakikita niyo po ang ating kagandahan. Char, kagandahan talaga. Ayan. So, good morning po sa ating lahat. Once again, welcome to GKNB Mag-Online Learning, a webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal for incoming and continuing UPLB students. So, in the meantime, reminders lamang po muna tayo. For those who are watching us right now, please be reminded to keep your comments helpful and considerate to the speaker, moderators, and to your fellow participants. And if you have questions, don't worry. Our speaker will answer all of them after the discussion. So may reminder lamang tayo para dyan. For reminders for the webinar, keep your comments helpful and considerate, just like what I said a while ago. And then the speaker shall entertain your question after the discussion. So please comment down below. Wow, comment down below your name, school, or affiliation, then your question. And then lastly po, do not forget to answer the evaluation form after the webinar. So today is our first session entitled Be Cool, Creative and Optimizing Online Learning Platforms. I am Cheryl Ed Hermosa Ebron, the University Extension Associate and Training Coordinator of UPLB Learning Resource Center. And I will be the moderator for our session today. Ayan. So, Gina ba kayo? Gina? Well, if Gina kayo, Gina rin kami. So, now to give her opening remarks, may I kindly recognize our beautiful and beloved director, Dr. Benjamina Paula G. Flor.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to GKNB Mag-Online Learning. So this morning, we are happy that you are on the show despite the pandemic, and we are also thankful that we have resource persons who will be able to share with you their expertise on how we could study online. So this webinar series is of 6 parts. which was actually based on a research study that we conducted with UPLB students. So we randomly had 218 respondents for this um, for this intervention, and in that study, we found out that students were not really were not so ready, in terms of studying online. And of course, we know that it's not easy to study online, but we could do it creatively and intelligently with the help of our resource persons. We believe that your feeling of anxiety may be addressed by some of the topics that we will be sharing with you in the next four or in the next five series. But for this series, we will be sharing to you how you could study online or even offline, no? Using remote learning. So we hope that you will not fret, you will not be afraid of going online, despite the problem that you may face in terms of connectivity, in terms of load. Maybe right now we have what we call SLAS, that's Student Learning Assistance System support from the UP system, where you will be provided with, well, at least those who are qualified will be provided with not laptops, iPads, no, iPads and internet connectivity. Just so you need to apply for those requisites in case you need one. So we hope that you will enjoy our six sessions on this seminar or this webinar series, and learn from the experts, from their experiences, from the strategies and the tools that they will share, so that we are better equipped in terms of how we could study in the new normal. Lahat naman to hindi natin ginusto, but because we are already here, so we just need to adapt, no, to what is in store for us. So with that, let's move on to the next session.
All right, thank you so much, Ma'am Benj. So we are looking forward to having you guys with our session for this morning and for the rest of the series that we have prepared for you guys. Just like what Ma'am Benj said, 6-part webinar series ito. So lubos-lubusin na natin. Talagang itodo na natin to para maging prepared talaga tayo for first semester. And just like what our director also said, this transition will be challenging, pero kaya natin yan kung sama-sama tayo. We're all in this together. All right? So, moving on, we will now have our leveling off. This is the second part of our session, which is the leveling off of expectations. So, sa usual, sa face-to-face na trainings or web seminars, ginagawa natin to using meta cards, gumagamit tayo ng mga cartolina, Manila paper, and then ididikit natin, right, sa board or sa whiteboard. Pero dahil virtual tayo, gagamit tayo ng Mentimeter, okay? So, let me just show the screen. So for the leveling off, please go to www.menti.com and then use the code 6506252 and answer the 2 questions there. Let me just share also my screen for that. Hold on. Okay. Let me just find Mentimeter. Okay. This one. Okay. Can you see the screen? Kita ba? Okay. Ayan. So nakikita ko na may mga sumasagot na. Okay. Meron ng 5 people, 8 persons. Wow, this is amazing. Natutunan din namin ito sa aming speaker last time kay Sir Enzo. Hello, Sir Enzo. We're using menti.com. Yan. Hintayin lang natin siguro na maka 50 or something. Okay, ayan. I hope you're seeing it on your screen. Nakikita ba? Bigyan niyo po kami ng feedback ha kung nakikita so that we could adjust. Alright. Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming. Ayan. Oh, diba? Okay. 52, 59, 63. Ayan. Okay. Keep it coming, guys. Ayan. O, diba? Wala nang kailangang Manila paper or cartolina or meta cards. Okay, 106, 110. Sige, pabutin ko lang ng probably 200. Sige, 200. So, sa screen ko, nakikita ko ang pinakamadami dun sa word cloud natin ay informative. You are expecting this session 1, which is be cool or be creative in optimizing online learning platforms. To be informative, helpful, fun, educational, interactive, exciting, insightful, interesting, educational, fun. Ayan. Enjoyable. What else? Insightful, comprehensive. Okay? Kanina yung unang-una, not boring daw. We hope also na hindi namin kayo i-bore. Informative and talagang informative. Okay. Helpful, educational, interesting. All right. So thank you so much sa mga nag-participate sa ating leveling off of expectations. So bakit natin to ginagawa? Para malaman ng ating speaker or ng team namin kung ano ba yung ina-expect nyo and hopefully sana ma-meet namin yung expectations nyo for this session. Okay, let me just stop sharing this one and go back to, okay, hold on. Share ko naman ulit ang ating PowerPoint. Okay, hold on, okay. Ayan, so thank you so much for participating sa ating leveling off of expectations. So we hope that we could have this session as informative as you want. Okay, mag-alala dahil talagang inimbita namin yung talagang bigatin tungkol sa sa online learning platform. So malalaman niyo yan mamaya. So later, siguro if nandiyan na si Ma'am Portia, we'll also ask for her inspirational message. But for now, let's just move forward with our session for this morning. Okay? All right. So, sandali lamang. Okay. So, to prepare you guys for this first semester's shift in education, let us now move to the main event of our webinar. So, to start our session, allow me to introduce our resource speaker for this morning. He is an associate professor in the Department of Educational Communication and also the college secretary in the College of Development Communication here in UP Los Baños. He graduated his BS and MS in Development Communication also from UP Los Baños, while he finished his PhD in Educational Communications and Technology in Kasetsart University, Bangkok, Thailand. He was also a visiting scholar in the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences at the University of Northern Colorado. Our speaker is an expert in the fields of development communication, educational communication and technology, e-learning, instructional design, multimedia design, and development. Here to talk about how to be cool or creative in optimizing online learning platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very young and very charming Dr. Edmund G. Centeno.
Okay, maraming salamat, She. Once again, good morning everyone. I am Edmund at ngayong umaga ay tatalakayin natin ang unang session sa webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal organized by the UPLB Learning Resource Center. So, syempre, nagpapasalamat ako sa LRC for inviting me in this webinar series. So, bago tayo magsimula para sa ating unang session, gusto ko muna kayong kumustahin, no? Kumusta ka na? Are you ready for the coming semester? Okay? So, sinabi kong exciting ang magiging tawag dito, ang ating magiging semester, no, sa darating semester kasi parang lahat tayo ay nasa experimental stage, no? Kumbaga marahil ay bago sa atin itong ating tawag doon, remote learning or flexible learning na magaganap. Okay? So let me check my slide. I hope it is now working. Okay. Yan. So right now we are having some technical problems, no? So nabanggit ko nga kanina na exciting ang ating magiging semester dahil iba ang ating learning modality ay yung darating na semester. Now, dahil ang titulo ng ating webinar series ay G ka na ba mag-online learning? Let's check kung gaano ba tayo kahanda. Okay, so I hope you can now see my screen. Kita na po ba? I think hindi pa rin yata lumalabas, no? So, let me check. I am sharing my PDF, the PDF copy of the presentation. Yan. Okay. So, I think it's now ready. Ayan. Kita nyo na ba? Hindi pa rin. So I have been reading some of the comments, no, sa ating Facebook page. Okay, anyway, so gusto ko sanang tanungin, no, to answer our question na G ka na ba mag-online learning, gusto kong tanungin ang lahat kung G ka na ba talaga. So please answer the question, G ka na ba mag-online learning dito na lamang sa ating sa ating Facebook page. Oops. Okay. So, while we are experiencing some technical difficulties, ayan. I hope you can now see, okay, the presentation. Yes po, it's visible na. Okay. So, for the first part ng ating presentation ngayong umaga, gusto ko sanang sagutin natin itong tanong na ito, no? G ka na ba mag-online learning? So, kanina pinagawa sa atin ni She yung tungkol sa Menti. So, I would like you to visit again menti.com and use the code 100950 and answer the question, G ka na ba mag-online learning? So, punta po tayo guys dito sa ating, yan. So, marami nang sumasagot. So, dumarami, no? 50 ang nagsabi na medj. Okay? May mga sumasagot din po ng 24, hindi pa. At 21, ang sabi nila ay G. So, hintayin po natin makasagot pa ang karamihan sa ating mga participants ngayong umaga sa webinar na ito. So kung mapapansin natin, no, ang daming mga factors na kailangan talagang i-consider para maging handa tayo sa darating na semester. At siguro yung iba ay kinakabahan dahil nalalapit na ang ating semester. Ano po? So, ayan. So nakikita na natin sa screen. Medj, ano kaya ang mga kadahilanan, no, ng mga sumasagot na medj? Okay? So, last 30 seconds para sa ating pagsagot. Tingnan natin kung ilan ba ang magsasabi ng sila ay G, ilan ang magsasabi ng medj, at ilan ang magsasabi ng hindi pa sila gaanong kahanda para sa darating na semester. So yung ginagawa natin ngayon dito sa menti.com, please take note, baka ang inyong mga teacher ay magkaroon ng mga activities na gaya nito sa inyong mga klase, no? So ang dami kasing mga apps ngayon na available, no, na very high in terms of interactivity. At isa na nga po dyan yung menti.com. Okay. So let me check kung ilan. Okay, last 10 seconds. O sige, yung mga gustong humabol. Gumagalaw pa ba ang ating graph? Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time's up. Okay, so tama na po yung ating pagsagot, no? So, as a recap, para sa tanong na G ka na ba mag-online learning sa darating na semester, 187 ang nagsabi ng medj, 89 ang nagsabi ng hindi pa, o yan, may mga dumadagdag, 91 na ngayon, at ang nagsabi ng G ay 40. Okay. So, ngayong umaga, pag-uusapan po natin, sana ay makatulong, no, sa, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga estudyante, kung ano nga ba yung mga pwede nating gawin na paghahanda when it comes to online learning. Okay? At gaya nga po nung pinakita natin sa inyo kanina, isa siguro sa tool na maaaring gamitin ng ating mga teachers ay itong tungkol sa menti.com. No? So this is one way of collaborating with with the class. Okay. Now for today's objectives, mayroon po tayong tatlong objective, no, na sana ay ma-achieve natin at the end of this webinar. So, at the end of this webinar, first, we should be able to discuss how online learning is facilitated. Paano nga ba isinasagawa ang online learning? Determine the requirements for online learning. Siyempre, bilang paghahanda, no, ano ba yung mga kinakailangan nating i-prepare when it comes to online learning? And of course, identify learning tools and apps that may be used for online learning. Okay. Now, for today's session, paalala lamang po, no, kasi mayroon akong mga inihandang activities and baka kinakailangan nyo siguro ng gumamit. For example, maglalaro tayo mamaya ng Kahoots, no? Reminder lang, baka kinakailangan nyo gumamit ng dalawang gadget para ma-view nyo yung question and yung another gadget naman para sa ating mga sagot. Okay? So, ito po, no? So, as mentioned nga a while ago, kapanapanabik ang semester na ito sa atin bilang estudyante dahil ang ating role, no, sa learning process na to ay magbabago or totally mag-shift. Kumbaga, in the traditional class, in most times, baka tayo ay mga passive learners, nakikinig kay teacher sa klase at nagsusulat ng notes. Pagdating dito sa online learning or other distance learning modalities na gagamitin ni teacher, magiging iba na yung ating role. Okay? Magiging iba na yung ating role. No? So, mas magiging active tayo, kumbaga. No? So, please take note. Okay, so on to my next slide. So, for our first objective, let us discuss what online learning is. Marahil syempre ay given na yung sagot, no? Bakit nga ba siya tinawag na online learning? Well, obviously, kaya siya tinawag na online learning because the learning process is facilitated over the internet. So, ito ay internet-based or web-based. And by that definition, mapapansin natin, yung number one requirement, no, when it comes to online learning, syempre dapat may internet ka. Otherwise, it will not take place. No? Mahihirapan tayong i-facilitate at mag-access ng learning content. Okay. So, for online learning, mayroon tayong iba't ibang klase or iba't ibang type. So, una na dyan, yung ating synchronous type ng online learning. So, ano ba itong synchronous type na ito? No? So, synchronous learning takes place in real time and compared with the other two types, this is probably less flexible kasi mayroong itinatakdang oras si teacher at ang buong klase kung kailan kayo mag-meet at kung saang online learning platform kayo magmi-meet. So yun po yung synchronous, no? So classic example ng synchronous yung ginagawa natin ngayon na habang nagdi-discuss ako sa inyo, in real time, kayo ay nagre-respond sa ating Facebook page or nagsasagot, no, dun sa mga surveys na aming pinagawa sa inyo kanina. So, ano yung advantage ng synchronous? So, una na dyan, of course, yung greater interaction between the teacher and the student. And of course, yung interaction among students. Kaya yung iba, preferred pa rin talaga ang synchronous kasi andun yung immediate feedback. Kung ako ay learner at meron akong naisip agad na katanungan, maaari ko itong erase sa aking teacher or sa aking mga classmates, and then I will get an immediate feedback. Okay? So, yung pangalawa naman natin na type ng online learning ay yung tinatawag na asynchronous. So, ano ba ito? So, in asynchronous online learning, it doesn't require you to participate in learning activities at the same time as your classmates or as your teacher. So, students work at your own pace. Kumbaga, ikaw ang magpo-control, ikaw ang magdidirect kung kailan mo gustong aralin, no? Or i-access yung learning content. So, yun po yung ating asynchronous. And in that case, dahil ikaw yung may sariling control, mas nagiging flexible siya, no, on the part of our learner. At syempre, yung pangatlong type naman ay yung tinatawag na hybrid learning. Okay, so ito essentially yung combination ng synchronous and asynchronous. Of course, there may be times na baka mag-work best, no, for a specific topic or discussion of a specific topic yung asynchronous, pero baka mayroon ding mga pagkakataon na maging effective din naman ang synchronous, kaya yung teacher natin, andun siguro yung option na combining both synchronous and asynchronous online learning tools. Okay, so essentially, yun yung ating definition ng online learning. At pag tinawag din nating online learning, nabanggit ko nga dito sa ating slide, no, it might be a new learning modality for most of the learners, or maaaring hindi na ito bago, pero kakaiba kumpara sa typical na learning modality na ginagamit natin in a traditional class. No? Kasi in a traditional classroom, andyan si teacher, andyan yung mga estudyante, and we discuss the lessons. No? Now, when we talk about online learning, andito rin po yung mga konsepto na kailangan nating pagtuunan ng pansin. Of course, unlike the traditional classroom, pag sinabi nating online learning, number one po talaga dito, yung constructivism na learning perspective, no? Ano yung sinatawag nating constructivism? When we talk about constructivism, people or the learning participants actively construct new knowledge as they interact with their environment. So unlike in other learning modalities kung saan medyo passive nga yung ating mga students at ang primary at ang number one, kumbaga, na source of information ay ang teacher. Pagdating sa online learning, parang hindi gano'n, no? It gives more responsibility sa ating mga learners. So in this case, this empowers the learners to be more active in the learning process. At dahil nga hinihikayat na tayo ay maging aktibo, so pupunta tayo dun sa ating pangatlong term, no, na independent learning. So as mentioned a while ago, for online learning, as learners, tayo po ang may control ng ating learning situation, most especially if asynchronous, no? So, self-paced ito and self-directed. And pang-apat na konsepto na siguro na-encounter natin kapag pinag-uusapan yung online learning is yung collaboration na tinatawag. Because of the many tools or applications na pwedeng magamit sa mga klase, many of those tools will allow us or can allow us to collaborate with the teacher or collaborate with our co-learners or co-classmates. Halimbawa, Facebook. So, paano ba ginagamit ang Facebook for collaboration? So, alam na natin lahat, no? Kapag gumawa tayo ng group chat, i-add mo doon as members yung ating mga kagrupo. So, yun na yung parang magiging platform natin for group workshop or for other collaboration activities. Okay? So, ito po yung mga important concepts na kailangan nating malaman. So, Ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng online learning sa iba pang learning modalities? Ngayon, naglista po ako dito sa ating slide ng 5 iba't ibang learning modalities. No? Siguro parating nyo rin naririnig na ang darating na semester will be delivered via distance learning or via remote learning. No? So, ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng distance learning sa online learning? Andyan din po yung konsepto ng e-learning. Lahat ba ng e-learning ay may tatawag na online or are they synonymous or in many cases nga they are used interchangeably. So ngayon kaklaruhin natin ano ba yung difference nito, no? And of course, andyan din po yung mobile learning and finally yung sinasabi na correspondence learning. Okay? So umpisahan na natin. In a traditional classroom, si teacher nagtuturo in front of the students using different instructional materials. Okay? Dahil unique ang ating situation ngayon, probably it will not be possible yung ating typical setup or traditional setup. That's why lagi nyo maririnig, next semester we will be delivering the lessons via distance mode or remote mode. So, ano ang ibig sabihin ng distance learning? So, in distance learning, the teacher is separated with the students by time or by space or by location. Halimbawa, ako as your resource person ngayon ay nandito sa UPLB at karamihan ng ating mga participants ay nasa iba't ibang bahagi ng Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao. Or baka yung iba pa nga sa inyo ay nasa ibang bansa. No? So, essentially, yun yung distance learning. Paano natin i-bridge yung separation na yon or yung gap na yon? So, ang ginagawa ni teacher, gumagamit siya ng iba't ibang learning platforms, whether online yan, or modular yan, or e-learning, or mobile learning. Okay? So, andun yung learning technologies to bridge that gap or that separation. Okay? So, ang pangalawang konsepto naman natin ay yung e-learning. So, pag sinabi natin e-learning, these are electronic-based learning modalities. At pag sinabi natin e-learning, it can either be online, pwede siyang online, so andyan yung internet-based, at pwede rin naman siyang offline. Kasi mayroon tayong mga offline e-learning tools na pwedeng magamit. Example ng mga offline, halimbawa kung computer-based yung ating mga lessons, hindi mo kailangang i-access yung content sa internet. Sa halip, ito marahil ay sinend sa'yo ni teacher at sinave mo na sa iyong laptop or sa iyong gadget, tapos binabasa mo na doon or doon ka na nagbabrowse ng iyong mga lessons. In that case, it is an example of an offline e-learning tool. So, andyan yung mga video lectures, podcast, learning objects. No? So, yun yung ating e-learning. Now, ano naman yung mobile learning? So, essentially, yung mobile learning, it can be online or it can be offline. Ang primary factor natin dito, if you are accessing the content using your mobile phones, halimbawa, kayo ay nakikinig ngayon or nanonood ngayon sa Facebook, using your gadget or your smartphones, and then in that case, ito ay nagiging mobile learning. No? So, yung handouts ni teacher, or yung mga libro, or yung mga modules, you save them sa iyong smartphone, at doon mo siya ina-access, now it becomes mobile learning. Of course, ang dami pang activities na pwede rin magamit through mobile learning mode. So, nabanggit na natin ang online learning. And finally, yung correspondence learning. Well, correspondence learning is an example, pwede siyang learning modality via distance mode. Ngayon, kung nagkakaroon tayo ng problema with online learning, dito ngayon papasok yung correspondence learning. Dito sa ating university, sa UPLB, right now, abalang-abala ang ating mga teachers sa paggawa ng kanilang mga course packs. No? So they are transforming the materials in different, sabihin natin, platforms na pwede siyang ma-access online kung walang means or resources ang estudyante to go online. Andyan yung mga print modules or mga handouts na pwedeng magamit ng mga estudyante. So siguro ang sagot doon sa tanong na papaano kung wala akong online resources, pwede pa rin ba akong maging bahagi or pwede ba akong maging active pa rin na participant doon sa aking klase? Pwede naman. So, yun ang sagot natin, because your teacher will be utilizing different learning modalities, no, or utilizing different learning tools and technologies. Kasi nga sabi natin, no student should be left behind, no? So yun yung ating tatandaan. Now, punta tayo ngayon sa mga requirements for online learning. So, nabanggit ko kanina, number one, importante yung internet connection. Kasi kapag wala tayong internet connection and you are offline, obviously, you cannot participate in the online learning mode. Okay? Maliban na lang, halimbawa, kung yun ay asynchronous siguro, no, po pwede. Okay? So, una dyan, nilagay ko sa listahan yung ating hardware. Of course, you need to have your computer or your mobile gadgets. Ano ba yung gagamitin mo in accessing the learning content or in participating in the learning situation or in the learning process. So, smartphone ba yan? Tablet computer ba yan? Laptop or desktop computer? And syempre, kakambal na rito yung mga peripherals, no? Like for example, yung mouse mo, yung keyboard, earphones. Very important po yung ating earphones or kung meron kayong mga speakers dyan, kasi sometimes yung ating, tawag doon, yung ating speakers, na built-in speakers ng ating laptop ay hindi ganun ka-reliable. At the same time, yung microphone, no? Baka pwede rin naman kung mayroon kayong, tawag dito, kung makakakuha kayo ng external microphone, mas maganda. Although in my case, ang ginagamit ko usually yung built-in mic. Kaya lang there are cases nga na nagkakaroon ng aberya kapag gumamit ako ng built-in mic. Okay? So, importante ang mic natin. Ang storage device, saan natin ilalagay lahat ng ating learning material. So, ang suggestion ko ay magkaroon tayo siguro ng, i-organize natin yung ating mga files, no? So magkaroon tayo ng separate na storage device para sa ating, magagamit natin specific para sa ating mga klase. At siguro another storage para dun sa mga additional files like kung may mga videos kayo dyan, nahilig kayong manood ng movies or marami kayong mga MP3 na na-save. So medyo ibukod natin, no? So kung kakayanin. Well, pagdating sa storage, pwede rin naman yung i-save natin sa cloud. Kung may Google Drive kayo, mas maganda rin, no? I-organize natin doon yung mga files. And syempre, importante rin yung ating camera, lalo na for synchronous. There may be times na you will be required by your teacher to do reports, no? Online reporting, na synchronous ang methodology, so kailangan natin ng camera. Kung hindi uubra yung ating camera at wala na tayong iba pang resources, pwede natin kausapin si teacher na baka pwedeng i-record na lang natin, no, yung ating report and then i-upload sa ating LMS. And speaking of LMS, andyan pangatlo sa listahan, yung ating software or apps. Ano ba yung online learning platform na ating gagamitin? So, I have listed here yung dalawa sa most probably ay gagamitin ng iyong teacher. And these two online learning platforms po ay yung tinatawag nating technology by design. No? Pag sinabing technology by design, ginawa ang mga apps na ito specific for learning purposes, for meetings, for conferencing. No? Mayroon tayong isa pang grupo ng mga software or apps, yung technology by utilization. Pag-uusapan natin yun mamaya. Example doon yung Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, na pwede rin naman nating magamit. So, ang makikita niyo po dito, Learning Management System and Conferencing Tools, ito essentially baka yung primary online learning platform na gagamitin ni teacher. And ang masasabi ko ay sana maging familiar tayo sa mga features ng mga apps na ito. So ano-ano ba itong mga apps na ito? Are you familiar with the icons? Sige nga, i-type nga natin sa chat box if you are familiar with the icons that you can see dito. May mga nagsasagot na ba sa ating chat box? Okay. So, for our learning management system, ito po yung mga example, no? So, we have Google Classroom. Baka yung iba ay nakagamit na sa inyo in the past. Then we have Edmodo. Okay? And then we have Moodle. Ito po yun, yung letter M, kung nakikita nyo sa inyong mga screen. And then we have Schoology. Ito yung letter S. And of course, we have Canvas. Okay? Now, ang dami pang mga LMS na pwede nating magamit, no? So, please take note lamang, no? Sa start ng semester, sana makapag-decide si teacher with the help of the class kung ano ba yung most accessible na LMS para sa ating lahat, no? Para sa buong klase. Kasi some of these LMS may require siguro in terms of accessing, no? Baka kailangan mas mataas, kumbaga, no? Yung storage mo, yung capacity ng iyong mobile phone, or yung capacity ng iyong laptop, no? In terms of accessing. Okay? So, tingnan po natin kung alin kaya, no? At sana mapag-usapan niyo yun ng buong klase. Now, for conferencing tools, andito po yung Microsoft Teams, Zoom, okay, Google Meet, and I added here yung Cisco. Probably these are just some of the conferencing tools. At syempre yung ginagamit natin ngayon, may iba pa, no? Marami pang ibang conferencing tools. Ilan lamang ito dun sa mga marami pang conferencing tools na pwedeng magamit. So, ito po yung ilan sa mga software and apps na specific na ginagamit for learning purposes. Okay? Now, importante rin syempre yung motivation and discipline. And of course, as a requirement, no, sa ating mga klase, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng very important itong motivation and discipline, lalo na pag online learning. Kasi ang dami nating kakompetensya online. Siguro probably yung iba sa inyo ay nanonood ngayon sa Facebook habang nakikipag-chat sa ibang friends, no? Or habang nanonood sa Facebook ay nanonood din ng Netflix sa kanilang mga TV. So ang dami nating kakompetensya at importante po talaga ang motivation and discipline. So sa part ng mga estudyante, more flexibility means more responsibility. Okay? So tatandaan natin 'yon, no? So mag-allot tayo ng oras kung kailan tayo aaral, kung kailan natin i-access yung ating mga materials online, at mag-allot tayo ng oras kung kailan tayo mag-break or magpo-pause or mag-siesta. Kasi syempre kailangan din naman natin from time to time, no, yung mga specific na breaks na 'yon. Okay? So, yun po. So, these are, I think, the very important, okay, very essential na requirements for online learning. So, alin na ba dito yung check sa atin? Check ba tayo sa 1, 2, 3? Hardware, internet. Ang kailangan na lang nating i-develop yung motivation and discipline. Yun na lang siguro, no? Okay, for online learning. Yung kinakailangan nating tawag doon, kailangan nating magkaroon. Okay? So, darating na semester. Okay. Now, I would like to, before we proceed sa ating next na topic, I would like to invite everyone to go to kahoot.it at magkakaroon po tayo ng laro. Okay, so break na rin muna ito sa ating session. So we will be playing a game. Please go to kahoot.it. So ang topic po natin sa game na ito ay ano ba yung iba't ibang mga useful learning tools na pwedeng magamit in addition to the LMS and the conferencing tool. So guys, please go to kahoot.it. I hope you have another gadget to view the questions and to answer the questions. No? Nakapunta na ba tayo sa kahoot.it? Kung nakikita nyo sa ating screen, please log in our game pin for this game. Okay. Ayan. Dahil medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng lag in terms of sharing through Facebook. Ayan. So, ang dami na, no? So, please log into kahoot.it. Ang game pin po natin ay 928291. So we have, ano kaya ang price nito? No? We will ask She later kung ano kaya ang pwede natin maging premyo para sa game natin. Now, please take note, no? Para po mas maging maayos ang paglalaro natin dito sa Kahoot, I suggest na mayroon tayong dalawang gadgets. One for viewing the questions, yung makikita nyo sa screen, at pangalawa, para po sa pagpili dun sa mga sagot. So, multiple choice po ang ating quiz, ang ating game. So, 110, hintayin natin. Hintayin natin maka 500 siguro. Okay? Kasi ang dami, no? Right now, there are 726 viewers sa ating Facebook page. Ulitin ko lang, so please go to kahoot.it at ang game pin po natin ay 928291. Okay? So, ang mga tanong po natin ay tungkol sa ano ba ang iba pang mga useful apps na pwedeng magamit sa ating online na klase. Okay, so intayin po natin. Ayan, dumadami na. 194 players. Okay, so ulitin ko po, makikita nyo sa screen na ito yung mga tanong, and mas maganda if you have a separate gadget sa pagpili ng mga sagot. Okay, so 237. O sige, gawin nating last 30 seconds para makapag-join. Okay, right now there are 275. Nako, feeling ko magkakagulo tayo dito. So dito po sa Kahoot, no, pabilisan ng pagsagot at syempre dapat correct yung iyong pipiliing sagot. Importante, tama ang sagot at mabilis kang pumindot at mabilis kang sumagot. No? Kasi yung ating points dito ay magbabase kung tama ang sagot mo at kung gaano kakabilis. 330 players. Okay. O sige po, last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Sabi nung iba, sana all merong separate gadget. Well, yun po yung isa sa mga limitation, no? Although sa menti.com, pwede rin kayong magpalaro doon na nandun na yung question at nandun na rin yung, dun nyo na rin pipiliin yung mga sagot. Now, para sa mga hindi makakasali sa ating game, pwede naman itong maging available later on, no? Siguro, pag binigay sa inyo yung game pin, no, pwede nyo itong laruin later on. So, seryoso ba? Gagawin nating 500 players. Right now, there are 410. Okay? Okay, so, another last 10 seconds. Sabi ng iba, tamang loading lang sa Kahoot. Mabagal siguro yung internet sa bahay. Sometimes nangyayari rin yan sa akin. Most of the time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay. Sorry po dun sa mga hindi makakapag-participate, no? Kung hindi kayo makakasali sa Kahoot, well, makikita nyo ang mga questions on screen, pwede nyong isulat. At mag-cheer kayo sa ating Facebook na comment page. Doon nyo na lang sabihin kung ano ang sagot ninyo. Okay? At doon kayo mag-cheer, no? Kapag itamang inyong sagot. So, we will now be starting the game. Okay? Again, sorry po ulit ha, at maraming gustong mag-join. So, this is our first question. Which of the following is a project management app? Naku, konti ang So, yun siguro yung problema, no, sa kapag may timer. So, which of the following is a project management app? So, ang nakakuha ng tamang sagot, Trello. So, there are 5 players who got the correct answer. Next question. I hope ready na po tayo ulit. Ayan, at sa ating scoreboard, Kian, congratulations, nangunguna ka. Next, question number 2, this photo sharing site may be used by students in digital storytelling. Nakikita nyo ang choices sa inyong mga gadgets, pindutin ang tamang sagot. Photo sharing site. Time's up. The correct answer is Instagram. So, Instagram is a photo sharing site na pwede nating magamit no, in uploading our photos, which can be useful for learning purposes, no, as stimulus, no, for ng discussion natin for learning. Next question, please be ready. Sino kaya nangunguna? Machong Senpai. Nangunguna sa ating leaderboard. Next question. This is a Q&A website where anyone can ask questions and get answers. It can also be a good learning resource. Hootsuite, Quora, Wikipedia, ResearchGate. Ano kaya itong Q&A website? 186 answered, and the correct answer is Quora. Okay, so mamaya ipapakita natin yung example ng Quora. Okay, so sino kaya ang nangunguna sa ating scoreboard? Again, para dun sa mga kararating lang sa Facebook, no, ang tanong po ay makikita nyo sa screen at you need to have another gadget para maklik ninyo yung mga sagot. Next question. This is the logo of which virtual communication tool? Meron kaya kayo nito? Ginagamit nyo pang chat at pang tawag sa mga kaibigan? Okay, ano kaya itong virtual com tool na ito? At ang tamang sagot po ay Telegram. Okay? So, let's check kung sino nangunguna sa leaderboard. Aba, hindi nagpapatinag si Machong Senpai. Fifth question. This is an open source content management system which can be used by teachers in creating a blog or website. Ginagawa daw siya sa paggawa ng blogs or website na pwede rin nating magamit sa ating klase. Okay, the correct answer is WordPress. Okay, let's check kung sino na ang nangunguna sa ating leaderboard. Okay. Sixth question. According to SimilarWeb, this is the most visited website in the Philippines in Q4 of 2019. Ano kaya ang most visited website in the Philippines? Walang Shopee, no, sa choices. Pero definitely hindi po yung Lazada.com.ph. Although maraming nag-visit sa site na yan. So it's google.com. Okay? And for our seventh question, ayan, si SOP, nangunguna, naungusan na niya si Machong Senpai. For our seventh question, what is the official Twitter account of DOH? Kung mahilig kayong mag-update, no? Or tumingin sa mga updates ng DOH, ilan na ba ang cases ng COVID? So ano kaya ang Twitter account, official Twitter account? Ayan, so ang correct answer po ay at DOH.gov.ph. Okay? And for our last question, nangunguna si Max sa ating scoreboard. For our last question, according to Hype Auditor, this is the most subscribed YouTube channel in the Philippines in August 2020. Ano kaya ang most subscribed YouTube channel in the Philippines? Ayan. So, mahilig ba kayong manood, mag-abang kay Rafi Tulpo in action? So, yun daw po ang most subscribed YouTube channel sa ngayon. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung sino ang mga nangunguna sa ating scores. Third place, si Max. Second place, si SOP. At ang ating winner sa game na ito with 5 correct answers ay si L. Congratulations. Okay, congratulations at maraming salamat sa pag-participate sa ating game. So, let's now move on back to our presentation. I hope nag-enjoy kayo no, dun sa ating game. Now, please take note, maaring ang Kahoot ay isa sa mga gamiting online learning tools ng inyong mga teacher to assess what you have learned in class. Or pwede rin naman no, bilang pang-pre-test, kumbaga, bago mag-discuss ng mga lessons, ay magkakaroon muna kayo ng konting game. Okay? Now, for the next part of our topic for today, so puntahan natin ngayon yung iba't ibang useful tools na maaaring gamitin ni teacher. So, these useful tools, as I mentioned a while ago, yung tinatawag nating technology by utilization. Probably, these are not really meant, or when they were created, no, hindi really talaga ito meant for learning purposes, but we can utilize or we can take advantage of the features. Kasi ang dami nitong mga features na pwedeng magamit, lalo na yung in terms of communicating no, with the students or with the teacher. So, una na po sa listahan natin, yung virtual communication tools. So, we have, are you familiar with the icons dito sa ating virtual communication tools? Okay? So, ilan kaya sa mga ito ang mayroon kayo? No? So, una na dyan, if I am not mistaken, ito ay logo ng WhatsApp. Wala kasi akong WhatsApp na account. And then we have Viber, we have Skype, we have Telegram, we have Line, and we have KakaoTalk. Okay? So, pwede nating magamit ang virtual communication tools una sa pag-schedule, no? For announcement, pag-schedule ng ating mga klase, pag-set ng mga reminders. If you want to communicate with your teacher and your co-learners, so andyan yung ating virtual communication tools. And of course, in terms of social media, ito po yung mga iba't ibang klase ng social media na pwede nating magamit. So, una na dyan, no, yung social networking site na Facebook, okay, na I think kahit na tayo ay nasa old pa, hindi pa naman old, yung ating situation before, no, marami na sa ating mga teachers ang gumagamit ng Facebook, most especially for classes, no? Mag-a-announce tayo ng mga schedules, announcements, etc. And of course, andyan din po yung ating, nakikita nyo dito yung icon na B at katabi niya yung W. Ito po yung Blogger at WordPress. As mentioned kanina sa game natin sa Kahoot, no, ito po yung pwede natin gamitin to create website or blogs. Ang dami pang iba, no, andyan yung Wix, Weebly, and even Google Sites. So, pwede natin itong magamit kasi baka mamaya ang teacher ninyo will require you to create your own blog site where you will be uploading your outputs, no? Yung inyong mga videos or mga reports or mga assignments ninyo, okay? Or yung mga blogs ninyo, ayan, pwede nating magamit itong Blogger or WordPress. And of course, andito rin po yung YouTube and Vimeo. So, these two naman ay ginagamit usually, no, for sharing videos. Now, in my case, mas madali for me to upload, based on my experience, mas madali for me to upload all my videos in YouTube, then yung link na yun ang ipopost ko sa LMS or yun ang ipopost ko sa Facebook. According to my students, mas madali daw nilang napapanood, no, if it's uploaded first in YouTube compared with directly uploading yung video mo sa Facebook. Baka it will take time in uploading at the same time in accessing the learning content. Now, punta tayo ngayon dito sa dalawang nasa baba. We have itong dalawang circles na blue and pink. Katabi ng Instagram logo, ito naman yung Flickr as photo sharing sites, no? Mas maganda, I would like to encourage then also sa ating mga klase if you can create a Flickr account for your class where you can share photos. No? Kasi pwede rin itong doon tayo mag-discuss, no? If you have a photo as a stimulus for discussion sa comment section, doon tayo mag-uusap. No? Kung tungkol saan ba yung pinag-uusapan natin or kung tungkol saan ba yung ating pictures. And then of course, we have Twitter. Okay? Ilan sa inyo ang may Twitter account? Marami ba? Marami bang may Twitter? And of course, andyan din po yung Pinterest. No? I think this Pinterest is very interesting, no, and very exciting to use. Ako, gumagamit po ako ng Pinterest essentially to get ideas, no, dun sa mga topics na i-discuss ko in terms of designing din siguro the presentations, so you can get inspiration about hobbies and interests at the same time for other topics, no? Okay? Na related doon sa inyong mga lesson. So, pwede si teacher gumawa rin ng Pinterest. Now, doon po sa baba, makikita natin itong 5 na ito, no? So, we have Quora, Reddit. Reddit is very, tawag doon, usong-uso yung Reddit ngayon. Ang dami kong nakikita mga memes na sinishare sa Facebook using Reddit. But, in addition to Reddit, no, please take note, it's a very good online learning resource. So, we just try to explore, no, ano kaya yung mga features ng mga apps na ito. And of course, we have LinkedIn, Learning, ResearchGate, and Academia. Okay? So, these are just some of the online learning tools. Okay? Now, gusto kong ipakita sa inyo yung example kung paano natin magagamit ang Reddit, ang Quora, at iba pang useful apps. Okay? Lalampasan ko na po yung Facebook, ha, tsaka yung mga Instagram because I'm sure gamay na natin yung mga apps na yon. Okay? Now, what you see here in my screen is Quora. No? So, dito po sa Quora, as I mentioned a while ago in our game, it's a Q&A website. You can type your questions and then search po, or you can also search, no, specific topics, no, related siguro dun sa question mo, and makikita mo dun kung ano yung mga iba pang mga na-post na ng mga questions na related. Like in this example, I typed in, I am interested in getting information about law of supply and demand. So, tinype ko po dito sa search box yung law of supply and demand. And makikita nyo on screen yung mga tanong related to law of supply and demand and yung mga answers, no, dun sa tanong na yon. Now, ang challenge na lang sa atin as learners is how are we going to filter, no, yung mga nakikita natin dito? Kasi baka mamaya ang mga sagot or ang mga nagsagot dun sa mga tanong medyo mga puro jokes ang mga reply. So we need to take note, no? So again, responsibility natin yon as learners, no? Yung getting the right information from the right sources. So ito po yung example nung Quora. Tingnan natin. For example, magtuturo ako ng photography. I will be typing photography. Ayan, makikita nyo na po dito yung iba't ibang let's say grupo or even communities, no? Or questions. Okay, na related sa photography. For example, what are the best online resources for learning photography? So, naka-follow po dito 2,100. So, if you click that, so it will direct you, no, dun sa ating reference. So, makikita nyo na po dito yung mga sagot sa ating mga tanong. So, baka for learners, no, if you will be doing assignments, makakatulong itong Quora. Baka malay nyo, nandun na pala yung sagot sa assignment ni ma'am. Okay? But then again, our responsibility is to filter, select, no? Kung alin sa mga references, alin sa mga yon ang best, no? At ang credible at yung ating magagamit sa ating klase. Okay? Now, ang next naman po natin ay yung LinkedIn Learning. So, dito po, makikita nyo sa LinkedIn Learning, yung LinkedIn, it's an online learning platform din na pwede nating magamit. Usually, ito po ay mga videos yung makikita natin dito. In this case, no, when I type online learning dahil gusto kong maghanap ng references, so lumabas dito yung iba't ibang videos na related sa online learning na hinahanap ko. So, makikita nyo dyan yung length ng video, ilan yung gumamit ng video, etc. Okay? So, see? So, maganda po din na gamitin itong LinkedIn Learning. Same with Reddit. So, dito naman sa Reddit, if you can see on your screen, yan, lakihan ko lang ng konti. So, I typed advantages of distance learning. So, nung tinype ko siya, nag-suggest po siya ng mga communities no, related sa distance learning. You can join that community or pwede rin nyo namang makita yung mga related na articles or mga uploads no, na may kinalaman sa distance learning. Sorry, nakalagay pala dito. There were no communities results for advantages. Baka siya ay too specific. I-try ko lang yung distance learning. Ayan. So, nung tinype ko yung distance learning, may mga lumabas na communities na pwede kang mag-join. No? So, you just select. Again, be responsible no, in selecting alin ba dito yung ating kukunin na information. Now, for academia and ResearchGate, so these are very useful online tools where you can share your articles, you can check siguro other authors, other publishers or professionals na mayroon ng mga research na ginawa no related dun sa topic na gusto mong hanapin or gusto mong aralin. In this case, right now you can see academia. So binuksan ko yung aking academia account. Ang makikita nyo rito yung related doon sa aking nilagay na kasi nasa profile ko, no, I'm interested in different learning modalities. So nag-appear na po dyan yung mga articles na very useful for me, like game-based learning, distance education for teaching. Ang kagandahan nito, you can download or you can also contact yung author. Same with ResearchGate. No po. So, yun din yung for our ResearchGate. No? So, you can share projects, outputs, academic papers, or works or publications. Okay? So, okay na po ba? So, marami akong nababasa, no? Marami akong nababasa sa chat box natin na ang dami pang ibang useful tools. As I have mentioned, no? Ilan lamang itong mga inilista ko rito. So, may nagsabi ng mga baka nagjo-joke lang, Tinder. Well, medyo mahirap siyang magamit for learning purposes. But I'm sure ang dami pang iba na pwedeng magamit na tools. Now, going back to our slide. Okay? Now, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng another activity. This time, punta tayo sa please answer this question. Ano-anong social media accounts ang mayroon ka? Please go to paulev.com/edmundcenten009. So, paulev.com/edmundcenten.009. Let me share that site. Okay. I hope nakikita nyo ngayon. So, please answer this question. Ano-ano ang social media accounts na mayroon ka ngayon? So, please go to paulev.com. Makikita nyo sa taas, no, nakalagay dyan yung site, /edmundcenten009. Ayan, may nagsulat na ng Facebook. Ano pa kaya, bukod sa Facebook? Kung marami kayong social media accounts, pwedeng comma. You can type in your answer using with commas. Kung meron kang Facebook, may Twitter ka pa, may Instagram ka pa, may ano pa ba? May Tinder ka pa, sabi nga dun sa comment section, may Tinder daw. So ano-ano yung social media account na mayroon ka? Paki-type lahat. Maaari yung i-separate yung mga social media na ito using a comma. Mag-a-appear naman siya dito sa ating results. Kung mapapansin natin, Facebook, yung pinakamarami sa ating word cloud, followed by Twitter. Ayan, maraming sumasagot. 85 responses. Parang ganito yung pinagawa ni Shea kanina, kaya lang using menti.com. In this case, ito naman po ay nasa Paul everywhere. Okay. So, ano-ano ang social media account na mayroon ka ngayon? Okay. So, pinakamarami, no, lumalabas parang Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And base nga doon sa ating comment section kanina, maaring ang Facebook ay hindi advisable na gamitin for learning purposes. Kasi nga, ang daming distractions, no? Sa ating klase. Usually, ginagamit ito ng teacher to post announcements to remind students about the learning activities na gagawin or schedule ng activities na i-implement sa klase. Okay? So, may sumagot pa ng Shopee. Okay. Ang daming minemaintain na account. So, yan po yung ating nagiging problema, no? So, if you have different accounts, baka you are maintaining different login names at the same time, different passwords. So, please take note po. Okay? O sige, last 10 seconds. Ano kaya ang pinakamaraming social media account na lalabas? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so isasara na natin yung poll. Ba, may mga nag-type pa ng mga pangalan nila dito sa ano. Okay? So lumalabas po dito, no, ang top 3 na social media account ay Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, as mentioned a while ago, marami tayong kakompetensya, no, kapag social media ang ginamit. Kaya kailangan din na i-regulate siguro natin ang paggamit when it comes then to learning purposes. Paano ito hindi makaka-distract sa ating klase, no? Or sa ating pag-access ng learning content. Okay? So, yun po yung challenge for us. Now, let's move on to the next slide. O sige, ongoing di pa rin yung poll, no? Pwede pa rin magsagot yung iba. Okay? Now, these are the other useful tools na pwede po nating magamit for online learning. And I think very useful ito sa pag-organize din natin ng ating mga files at sa paggawa natin ng mga schedule or sa paggawa natin ng pag-organize ng ating mga tasks na gagawin sa ating mga klase. Of course, andyan po, no, very important yung project management and yung scheduling na apps. In my case, Google Calendar yung ginagamit ko for scheduling. Kasi lahat po ng aking mga meetings na ini-email sa email ko, nasisynchronize ko na siya doon sa aking Google Calendar. So for me, ito yung pinakamadali, no, in terms of creating my schedule, no, in organizing my schedule. Pwede po yung Google Calendar. So very important ito, no. Ang isasuggest ko at the start pa lang ng semester, magkaroon kayo ng isang calendar na pwedeng i-share sa buong klase at ilagay nyo na doon yung mga specific na mga schedules kung kailan kayo magre-report, kung kailan magdi-discuss si teacher, okay, kung kailan yung exam, or ano pa bang ibang activities, no? But aside from Google Classroom, maganda rin pong project management tool, yung Asana. If you're familiar with Asana, ito natutunan ko lang dun sa aking office mate, no? Thanks sa aming reps na si Mrs. for introducing me to Asana. Okay? So, mayroon kasi kaming, this is very good for collaboration. Kung meron kayong group work, pwede nyo i-invite lahat ng group members dun sa Asana ninyo, no? Gumawa kayo ng account doon, tapos pwede kayo mag-assign ng mga specific task. Like for example, si groupmate 1, siya ang assigned dito, ito yung kung kailan niya kailangang ma-accomplish yung task na ito. No? Same thing with Trello. It's a very good project management tool. Okay? So, ang dami pa pong iba na pwedeng magamit. I only listed here 3. Ang danger kapag sobrang dami yung minemaintain na account ay sobrang dami yung dina-download ng mga apps sa inyong mga phones, minsan nalilimutan nyo na kung ano ba talaga yung ginagamit ko sa aking klase. Kaya siguro suggestion ko rin, kailangan mag-agree yung buong klase with the teacher, ano ba yung primary LMS na gagamitin, ano yung social media kung saan nandun tayo lahat, and if ever na kailangan natin ng project management app, ano kaya ang ating project management app? Para lahat tayo ay nandoon, hindi yung iba-iba pa, no? Now, for collaboration, andyan po yung Google Meet, yung Google Suite, no? Ang dami nitong features na pwedeng i-offer for us. Like for example, sa Google Docs, pwedeng doon kayong mag-work ng mga groupmates mo. kung ang assignment sa inyo ni teacher is write a research proposal at group work yon, so pwede kayong mag-collaborate real-time sa Google Docs. No? And of course, yung Microsoft Teams, ang dami rin po niyang ang dami niya ring mga, tawag doon, mga apps, no, na pwede nating magamit. Okay? So, these are very good for collaboration. Now, if you check Google Suite, so I will be showing you, hindi ko pa ito nagagamit before, no, but I am planning to use this, yung Jamboard na feature ng ating sa Google Suite. I hope nakikita nyo on screen, no? If you go to Google, if you check your Google Apps, ang dami po rito mga available, like Google Docs, yung Sheets, Slides, okay, Calendar, Google Sites. Sabi ko nga kanina, pwede rin siya in creating website. And another one po sa bandang dulo, makikita niyo yung Jamboard. So, ito nabanggit lang din sa akin in one of the webinars, no? Kasi hindi ko pa ito natatry before, pero natry na nung isang participant. And this is very good for collaboration din. So, ano ba yung Jamboard? So, parang meron kang whiteboard dyan, or meron kang space dito, workspace, kung saan pwede kayo mag-collaborate ng iyong mga group mates. No, like magdi-design kayo ng exhibit or ng poster. Ayan, meron kayong canvas dito at pwede kayong maglagay diyan ng mga kung ano-ano. Okay? So, yun po, Jamboard as another tool. Okay? So, babalik ako sa aking presentation. Ilan ba ang accounts na mayroon kayo sa ngayon? Okay. Now, your teacher might require you to record your presentation. Okay? Halimbawa, sinabi ni teacher sa inyo na kailangan nyo mag-submit ng inyong presentation, no? Let's say PowerPoint. Ang pinakamadaling gawin siguro in recording your presentation, pinakamadali, no? Gumawa ka sa PowerPoint, tapos mag-embed ka ng audio or mag-embed ka doon ng video, and then you save it as a video file or you upload it doon sa inyong LMS or kung anumang online learning platform. But in addition to that, pwede rin po yung mga sumusunod, no, identified here na mga logos, no, in recording your presentation, such as Camtasia, Screencast, Omatic, and Panopto. Now, these three are just some of the many apps which you can use, no, in recording your presentation. Okay? In my case, usually, ang ginagawa ko nga po, yung aking PowerPoint, isa-save ko siya as JPEG file. Kung meron akong 14 slide, edi meron akong 14 images, 14 pictures, tapos tsaka ko siya inilalagay sa editing software. Halimbawa, mag-e-edit ako using Premiere, dun ko nilalagay yung audio narration ko or yung video or yung footage ko, plus ini-embed ko yung mga pictures dun sa aking slides using Adobe Premiere. Okay? Medyo yung iba, sabi nga nila, baka ang dami ko pang trabahong ginagawa, why not use Camtasia or Screencast or Panopto in recording your presentation? Okay, so please try to explore, no, these three tools. Okay, now next punta tayo ngayon sa production of output. Siyempre, mahalaga ito para sa atin, no, kasi yun na nga, your teachers might require you to submit blogs or video blogs or ask you to submit podcasts or an infograph, or a paper. No? So ano ba yung mga apps or software na pwede nating magamit for producing our outputs? Kung video yan, ano ba yung mga popular na video editing apps or software? Andyan yung, bukod sa Premiere at sa Final Cut Pro, andyan yung Power Director. Ako, I also edit videos using my phones. Yung mga short videos lang naman using Power Director, or pwede rin yung KineMaster or Filmora, no? So those are examples of the video editing apps na pwede nating magamit. Now for podcast, ano ba yung mga pwede nating magamit? Essentially, podcast is like your video lessons, no? Tinanggal mo lang yung video at kinuha mo yung, sinave mo as MP3 file, and then you have a podcast. So, you can edit using anchor.com. If you visit, no, they have very good features. Okay? For doing layouts, andyan yung Canva. I'm sure nagamit nyo na ito before when you submit designs. No, yung Canva, pwede rin naman sa Photoshop or sa InDesign. Okay? So, ang dami kong nababasa sa chat group, no, na ano pa ba yung mga ibang pwedeng gamitin. Okay? Now, for note-taking, isa ito sa nilagay ko rin dito na useful tools, no? Kasi syempre sanay tayo in a typical in the past, no, sa traditional classroom. Sanay tayo nagdi-discuss si teacher tapos nagsusulat tayo ng notes sa ating notebooks, no, or sa papel. Now for note taking, of course, ang dami ng available na features diyan like Notepad, Evernote, Google Docs, you can use that for note taking. Samsung Notes, kung mga naka-Samsung phones kayo dyan, Microsoft Notes, etc. Now, ang daming mga features na pwede nating, ang daming features na ino-offer ng mga ito na pwede nating gamitin, no, for note-taking. Like, if you want to highlight kung ano yung mga natapos mo na, or you highlight yung mga important topics or concepts, or you want to share, okay, etc. So, ang dami pong pwedeng magawa, no? Next, na useful tool, submission of assignment. Okay? Nabanggit ko nga kanina, if it's a video assignment, probably you can upload in YouTube and then send the link to your teacher. Or pwede rin naman, para mas maging organized tayo, if you can create a Google Drive kung saan nandun lahat ng iyong mga files. Lesson ni teacher, lahat nakasave doon. Handouts, lahat nakasave sa folder na yon. Assignments, lahat nakasave doon. Videos o video assignments, lahat nakasave doon. No? So, that is one way, no, yung Google Drive. Pwede rin naman sa cloud storage, no? If you are nakasubscribe kayo sa iCloud, then probably, yun din in relation to organizing your files, no? I-upload nyo din lahat doon para at least may backup din tayo just in case, knock on wood, mag-crash yung ating gadget or yung ating hardware. Okay? So, these are essential tools. Next, I think this is my second to the last slide. Now, how to optimize these learning apps? I have listed here the very important activities na ginagawa natin in facilitating learning. No? Una na dyan, scheduling lessons. Okay? Now, we may want to check, eto bang mga apps na ito, alin sa mga ito yung pwede akong mag-schedule ng lesson. Now, which among these apps yung pwede kong magamit in posting announcements? Pwede ba akong mag-post ng announcements sa Instagram or sa YouTube? Pwede naman. Kaya lang, baka hindi yun yung pinaka cost-effective, no? Kasimple, pwede ka na namang mag-post sa Facebook, bakit ka pa gagawa ng video and ipopost mo sa YouTube, no? So, please take note. Now, which among these apps will effectively facilitate the discussion of the lesson, no? Yun nga yung sinasabi kanina, baka ang Facebook, hindi siya yung pinaka-appropriate in facilitating discussions. Baka kailangan yung LMS talaga, yung Learning Management System, or Edmodo or Google Classroom, baka yun talaga yung the best or most appropriate, no? Okay? Another important activity is yung assessing student progress. Now, for teachers, which among these apps will allow you to assess student progress? Gagawa ka ba ng game sa kahoot.it? Gagawa ka ba sa menti.com? Sa Facebook, pwede kang mag-poll doon. Okay? Or pwede ka namang gumawa sa Google Form and then upload it in Facebook, no? Sa Google Form mo andun yung mga questions or for the assignment or for the quiz, tapos sasagutan ni students, no? So, alin kaya sa mga apps na ito yung maaari kong gamitin in assessing student progress? And also, which among these apps will allow effective student participation? Yung hindi lang basta nanonood or nakikinig si student or si learner, kundi mayroong active participation. Like for example, kung may tanong siya, saan niya pwedeng i-type yung question niya? May chat box ba yan? May discussion board ba yan? May forum ba yan? Etc. Now, ito bang app na ito is tawag doon, can be easily linked to conferencing tools. Like for example, yung Google Suite, no? Kung makikita nyo, may Zoom na rin na nakalagay doon. Aside from Google Meet, meron na rin, mabilis na rin kayong makakapag-schedule using Zoom. So, kumbaga naka-link, no, yung mga apps natin with the other useful apps for learning. So, how will you engage the students? And on the part of the students, no, papaano naman kaya kayo makaka-contribute dun sa ating discussion? Okay? And finally, yung posting of scores, posting of gradebook. Kasi syempre bilang mga estudyante, gusto natin makita agad yung feedback ng ating teacher sa ating mga sinubmit na assignment or dun sa mga grades. Kumbaga in the past, well, I can understand bilang teacher din ako, natatambakan minsan ako ng chechekan. No? Baka yung teacher ninyo, 1 week na or 2 weeks na hindi pa na ibabalik yung mga sinubmit ninyo. Now, importante for students, para makita nyo yung inyong progress. Now, ano kaya sa mga apps na ito yung pwede nating magamit para ma-post din yung ating grades or yung progress ng ating mga estudyante. Okay? So, these are the very important ways on how to optimize. Now, for my last slide, so ito na po yung aking pinakahuli, this is my last slide, tips for online learning. Please take note, in the next webinars po ng Learning Resource Center, pag-uusapan nyo ng detalyado yung mga useful tips from students and from teachers din. So they have invited many speakers. Yung ilalagay ko lamang po dito ay ilan lamang sa mga useful tips na pwede nating magamit, no, to guide us in online learning. Una, familiarize yourself with online learning. So ano yung learning tools and learning technologies na gagamitin ninyo sa inyong klase? Kung sabihin ni teacher na ay kasi ang ating university, ang instruction nila, magka-canvas tayo. Canvas yung ating gagamitin. Now, first time mong gumamit bilang learner, first time mong gumamit ng Canvas. Now, siguro magkaroon tayo ng mag-self-study, no? Ngayon pa lang, itry nating kutingtingin yung mga features ng mga apps na ito. And at the same time, ano ba yung mga iba't ibang learning activities na maaaring gawin or maaaring gamitin ni teacher in the delivery of instruction? Okay? So, familiarize yourself. So, at least ngayon, alam niyo na kung paano mag-games. Karamihan sa inyo, no, baka first time mag-Kahoot or first time gumamit ng polleverywhere.com or first time mag-Menti. Ayan, at least you're familiarized already kung paano ba yung mga yon gamitin. Now, next important tip, manage your accounts. Please take note. Kapag marami kayong social media accounts, ang tendency natin makalimutan yung mga passwords na yon. Yung iba sinusulat sa notebook or yung iba meron namang may apps din naman, no, na pwedeng gamitin nyo to organize your accounts and yung password, huwag kakalimutan. Na-experience ko to in the past, middle na ng semester, tsaka pa lang si student magsasabi na, "Sir, nalimutan ko yung password," or tawag doon, na-block na siya doon sa email niya kasi baka iba-ibang password yung nagamit. So, very important, no, yung managing your accounts. Third, always check your core syllabus. Ito yung pinaka-guide natin. I'm sure yung core syllabus natin, ilalagay na ni teacher lahat ng gagawin nyo dyan ng buong semester, ano yung reference, ano yung method or way of assessing what we have learned. So, ibibigay na ito sa atin ni teacher at the start of the klase pa lamang at huwag nyong iwawala. Kasi from time to time, ito yung pwede nyong balikan, no? Kung ano na nga ba yung mga susunod nating activity. Okay? And next tip, set up a workspace. Now, dahil nga unique ang ating situation ngayon at karamihan ay nasa kanilang tahanan, mag-set up tayo ng workspace. Saan ba yung lugar na hindi tayo madaling ma-distract? No? So mag-set up tayo set up natin ang ating learning environment. Yung wala masyadong ingay, walang masyadong tumitilaok na manok or dumadaang sasakyan whatsoever. So set up a workspace and siguraduhin nyo yung mga background ninyo dyan. Okay, ano pa ba? Okay, yung inyong mga learning materials ay nandoon lahat sa inyong workspace. Siyempre, mas nakaka-motivate, no? Pag upo mo doon sa workspace mo, parang wala kang ibang gagawin, kundi mag-aral ka lang talaga. Hindi ka pwedeng nakaka-encourage, no? Na mag-aral instead na mag-Facebook ka or kung ano mang distractions online. Kasi you have set up your workspace. Now, for students, please actively participate in online activities. Now, there may be limitations katulad kanina, no? Gustong-gustong mag-participate sa Kahoot, pero hindi naka-join because of some limitations. Pero kung ano man yung mga activities ni teacher, please participate. Nag-post si teacher ng question, halimbawa sa Facebook, wag puro scene lang sana, no? Sana we answer, we engage in the discussion, okay? We share our comments or share our views, our opinion on that specific topic. In relation to that, ask questions. Okay? And from time to time, update your teacher or your learners. Lalo na kung nahihirapan kayo for online learning, kailangan nating i-update si teacher kung ano ba yung mga nagaganap, no? Ano ba yung mga progress natin for a specific topic or project. So, important po yun, no? Yung kamustahan na rin with co-learners and with the teacher. And of course, nabanggit ko nga kanina din, be self-motivated. Okay? And finally, be patient. Okay? I think very important yung be patient. Kasi there may be a lot of glitches, no? Dahil nga online tayo, hindi makakonect sa internet. Hindi ako maka-join sa Zoom, hindi ako makapag-share ng screen. Okay? Ang daming aberya online. So, kailangan lang nating maging patient. No po? So, wag masyadong maging mainitin ang ulo kapag hindi agad tayo at first naging successful, okay, doon sa ating sa learning process or during the learning situation. So, I guess, eto na po yung last ng aking presentation. Now, to end this session, I would just like to emphasize, now what I have shown you a while ago are just some of the many applications that you can use, no, for online learning. Please take note, napakarami pa pong available bukod dun sa mga nabanggit ko. Ang kailangan po natin gawin sa ating mga klase ay decide with the teacher and with our co-learners kung alin ba sa mga useful apps na yon ang gagamitin natin sa ating klase. Mas maganda sana kung meron kayong primary na learning management system. Like for example, Google Classroom. But in addition to Google Classroom, mayroon pa kayong other social media sites na pwede kayo mag-member doon, or meron din tayong Instagram, or meron din tayo sa Twitter, etc. Okay? Kung sakaling more than one ang inyong gagamitin na accounts or apps na gagamitin, siguraduhin lang na familiar tayo sa mga features na yon. At yun nga, huwag kakalimutan yung mga passwords. No? Kung sakali na magkaroon tayo ng problem with online learning, let's call the attention of our teachers through other means. Andiyan na yung pwedeng i-text si teacher, pwede natin siyang tawagan, or i-chat sa Facebook para ma-address agad yung mga problems na yon. And I'm sure si teacher nagkaroon na yan ng plan B just in case nga na mayroong learners na hindi makapag-online. So remember, ang mantra nga po natin ngayon sa darating semester is no student left behind. Okay? So muli ako po si Edmund at maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig.
Thank you so much, Sir Edmund. Truly, we can be creative or we can be cool this coming semester by being creative in optimizing online learning platforms. So we hope, guys, naging informative talaga yung ating session with Sir Edmund, at na-meet namin ang inyong expectations. Di ba? Ang dami nating natutunan, ang dami nating mga applications na hindi pa alam na shinare sa atin ni Sir Edmund na pwede nating magamit for this coming first semester. We also hope na nabawasan yung reservations natin sa mga remotely delivered courses. Kasi alam ko yung iba may mga reservations pagdating sa online learning or sa shift natin sa this coming semester. Niwala tayo talaga, sabi nga ni Sir Edmund, there should be no student left behind. Naniniwala tayo na dapat ang edukasyon inclusive, kaya yung ating mga students na hindi talaga kaya at walang means to access the course online using an internet, wag mag-alala kasi may alternative mode na hinahanda para sa inyo. Kaya nga, di ba, we are all in this together. Kaya sa ating mga professors, talagang dibdiban yung paggawa nila ng kanilang mga #course packs. Okay, saludo po kami sa inyo. Di ba, Sir Ed?
Yes, tama.
Alright, so totoo, challenging ang transition na ito, pero kaya nga tulad ngayon, di ba, system-wide yung glitch ng Zoom. Inaral lang po namin itong pag-StreamYard this morning lang po talaga, at nagpapasalamat po kami sa director namin online na tumulong sa amin para ma-push itong GKNB mag-online learning webinar series session 1. So, and more than ever, we should support each other sa tulad nitong mga glitches na ganito. So together, we can surpass all these challenges. Basta kapit lang tayo. Okay, so moving forward, we will now have our question and answer portion. Again, guys, please be reminded to keep your comments helpful, considerate to the speaker, moderators, and to your fellow participants. And kindly ask relevant questions dun sa ating topic. Ano po? So please comment down below your name, school, and affiliation, and then your question. And then Sir Edmund will entertain them right after the discussion. Okay? Yung example po niyan, let me just show you the screen. Kalimutan ko i-share. Hold on. Ayan. For question and answer, ayan. Please comment down your name, school or affiliation, then your question. Ito po yung example. Ayan. Juan de la Cruz from UP Los Baños. What is the best online learning platform? Mga ganyang eksena. Okay? So, in the meantime, habang nag-iintay po tayo ng mga questions from our students, magbasa lang tayo ng mga comments from our Facebook page, sa ating Facebook Live. Ayan. Ayan. From Nelissa Masanke, thank you for the useful tips with heart emoji. Okay? And then, sana lahat, PEDS, mag-Google sign in na lang. Nakakalito daw po pag maraming accounts according to John Mario Serrana. Tama. Sana mga 1 or 2 platforms lang.
Tama. She, if I may add, no? Tama yung comment na yon. Sana mag-decide kayo sa buong klase with the teacher kung ano ba yung primary online learning platform na gagawin. Kasi minsan kapag marami, nakakalito talaga, no? Hindi natin alam kung ngayong araw LMS ba or sa susunod na araw nasa Facebook ba, etc. And if ever mag-decide man kayo, halimbawa sa klase, ng 2 or 3 siguro na apps, siguraduhin nyo na naka-schedule properly, okay, yung mga activities natin. Okay?
Apo. And then, yung OneDrive po ba para saan? From Mika Angelet. Mika Angelet. Ay, question ba yun? Okay. OneDrive daw, sir. Ang daming nagsabi na OneDrive para malupit. And then from Raymond Sandy Barcelon, Google Docs. Notability and good notes from Luila Fortulan Dicho. OneNote pwede offline, Evernote din from Luigi Alvarez. Okay. PixArt pwede din from Edmund Fidel de Gracia. And then Filmora, easy to use, guys, from Jan Marius Serena. Okay, ito po. May question na po tayo, Sir Ed, from Bernard Panabang from UP Los Baños Graduate School. The question is, with a lot of apps for distance learning, our gadgets has only a limited capacity to store apps. With this, is there a move by the UP or UPLB admin to standardize the mode of online learning? Example, zero out on few apps that can be used. We can try following the example of known online learning platforms such as edx.org, coursera.org, khanacademy.org, and other other MOOCs from Bernard Panabang.
Yeah. Maraming salamat sa question mo, Bernard, no? I think the university, there's a move actually, no? I think sa university to utilize, ano ba yung primary online learning platform na gagamitin. For example, in our college, no, dito sa DevCom, nag-decide kami na para pare-pareho, we will be using Google Classroom. Unless mayroon ang university na i-memo or i-direct sa atin kung ano ba yung learning platform. No, but for now, we are planning to use Google Classroom para lahat ng estudyante namin dito sa DevCom isa na lang yung kanilang bubuksan. No, I think mayroong ganong move ang university. Kaya lang hindi niya nililimit ang mga teacher na bukod dito, ano pa yung ibang pwedeng gamitin. So binibigyan niya rin naman si teacher ng creativity in exploring other apps. Definitely mayroong isang online learning platform, mas maganda yon, mas maganda kung isa lang, pero for other specific activities, maaaring si teacher, no, mag-decide siya na bukod sa Google Classroom, mag-Facebook din ako, etc.
Alright, thank you so much, Sir Ed. Ayan. I hope that answers your question, Sir Bernard. Meron pa siyang comment, Sir. Gusto ko rin yung comment niya. You can start adding to your calendar all the next series of this webinar. Thumbs up po doon.
Correct.
Opo, meron pa po tayong 5 series ng ating webinar and I hope that it will be as informative as this one ng session ni Sir Ed. Okay, are there any more questions? Alright, Sir, meron ditong comment. Last na po siguro to, or siguro second to the last. From Janila, wala raw pong advantages and distance learning. Chas. Your comment po, Sir.
Oo. Actually,
Okay.
comment pala yun.
Okay po. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Sir Ed.
Well, please take note, no, different learning modalities, whether yan ay face-to-face, whether yan ay distance or online or mobile, or kung ano pa bang klaseng modality, no? Of course, mayroon itong mga kanya-kanyang shining moments, meron itong mga advantages, and at the same time, hindi natin maipagkakaila na mayroon din itong limitations. And right now, I can understand kasi because we are in the experimental stage, no? Baka masasabi natin for now, baka yung mga disadvantages yung ating nakikita or napapansin. Pero if you check, no, we have the UP Open University kung saan fully distance mode, no? Yung delivery ng instruction or yung iba pang open universities, no? And nag-work, no? I think ang isang key dito really is yung how are we going to transform yung content, yung specific na activities from the traditional setup into distance mode, or in this case nga online learning. It can work naman, no? It will work naman. So yun lang, we need to carefully plan, develop, and design, no, yung ating mga activities na yon. Okay. I think, She, you're on mute, She?
Yan. Opo. Sorry, sir. Thank you so much, Sir Ed. This will be the last one, sir. More on of, ito po ay comment, but I think nasabi niyo na rin po yung stand niyo regarding sa Facebook to be used in remote learning from Ms. Suzanette Lola. From previous webinars ng UP system, according to the speakers, the UP system, UP Diliman discourages use of Facebook in remote learning.
Ayun. So, kahit ako personally, no, I do not, in my class, no, I only use Facebook to post announcements. Kasi nga, all my students are in Facebook. Yun yung isang advantage ng Facebook. Bakit ba tayo gumagamit ng Facebook for online learning? Kasi halos lahat ay nasa Facebook. No, so what I do is I post announcement there kung kailan ako magpapa-quiz, magpapa-exam, kung may handouts na bang bagong ina-upload, no? Actually, naiintindihan ko ito, no? Kasi ang comment nga sa akin madalas ng aking mga estudyante, if ever daw na may i-upload akong materials online, kailangan i-alert ko sila. Eh, ang sabi ko sa estudyante, nakakapag-Facebook nga kayo 24/7. So, andun siguro din yung yung discipline, no, in terms of using social media. No, kapag nag-open ka ng Facebook mo, i-try mo na rin i-open yung iba pang mga learning platforms na gustong ipagamit ni teacher. But for discussion ng mga topics, yun nga, tama yung comment na yun kasi it might be ang daming distractions, no, sa Facebook.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Ed. I agree po. Pag online learning talaga, sir, no, you have to be a self-directed learner. Kailangan may disiplina talaga. Kailangan may disiplina talaga. Okay. So, moving forward, so dahil tayo po ay konti na lang yung oras, alas 12 na po pala. Yes, sir?
Yeah, if I may add, no, last na ito, pahabol. So, again, unique ang ating situation sa darating na semester. No, from the usual na traditional classroom ay magdi-distance tayo or remote or flexible learning. Now, importante, nabanggit kanina na no student should be left behind. Importante din as teachers, no, kailangan isipin din natin yung ating personal na well-being, no. For both teachers and students, kailangan nating isiping mabuti rin yung ating namang, kumbaga yung self-care, no, wag natin yung kakalimutan. Kailangan nating mag-alagaan ang ating sarili, no, in this very special situation. Kasi minsan yun na nga, no, kailangan natin ng isa't isa, no, kailangan natin ng suporta ng bawat isa sa ating classroom. Okay? Maraming salamat ulit po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Sir Ed. Definitely, sir, kailangan po natin ng work-life balance.
Correct.
Okay po. So, at this moment po, Team LRC would like to take this opportunity to thank Sir Edmund for his valuable time. Kahit sobra pong busy niya sa pagiging college secretary at paggawa ng course pack at sa marami pang bagay, pinaunlakan pa rin niya po tayo. So, to award our E-Certificate of Appreciation, I kindly recognize our director, Ma'am Benji Flor, to award the Certificate of Appreciation to Sir Edmund. Let me just read the citation. UP Los Baños Learning Resource Center present the Certificate of Appreciation to Edmund G. Centeno for serving as resource speaker in the first session on Google, creative and optimizing online learning platforms in GKNB Online Learning, a webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal, held on August 17, 2020, given the 7th day of August 2020 at Learning Resource Center, UPLB College, Laguna, signed by our director, Benjamina Paula G. Flor.
Thank you, Sir Ed, for that very wonderful, practical, and useful guide on how we could equip our students to brace remote learning come September 10. So I hope you learned so much from Sir Ed, and you could also download the file, the recorded file from FB Live, just so you want to review what needs to be done. So thank you, Sir Ed.
Welcome po at maraming salamat pong muli sa Learning Resource Center. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Benj. Thank you, She.
Alright, thank you, Sir Ed. Now for our evaluation, makikita po sa inyong screen yung ating link. Again, please evaluate the session. It will really help us a lot on how to help you better at kung ano pa yung mga dapat namin improve. So please let us know your comments, suggestions, and yan po. So yan po yung link. So please make sure to evaluate the session. And then just a few reminders po for our second session. Join us again, guys, for the second session of the GKNB Mag-Online Learning, a webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal entitled Be Lit, Learn Tips and Best Strategies for Learning or for Online Learning. That would be on Wednesday, August 19, 2020, same time, 10 in the morning. So lubos-lubosin nyo na guys, sabi nga ni Sir Bernard, i-add nyo na sa inyong Google Calendar yung ating webinar series. Attend all the remaining 5 sessions to be fully prepared for this coming first semester AY or academic year 2020-2021. So most importantly, this webinar would not be possible without our GKNB core team headed by our very beautiful director, Ma'am Benji. On our technical side, our University Research Associate and DP Coordinator as well, Mr. Joshua Michael G. Jonas, and our webinar production director or online director, Direct Prof. Mark Lester M. Chico. Thank you so much, sir, for helping us out for this session. Without you, sir, hindi po kami makakapag-live because of the system-wide glitch of Zoom's function for live web or live streaming in FB. So, for today, this has been your moderator for today's session, Cheryl Hermosa Ebron. Kapit lang, isko at iska, makakalampas din tayo. Keep safe, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!
Everybody on screen.